Hello, welcome to Spy Money. Had a great day today. Yesterday I finished up just shy of 1900. Today I finished up 1950. And I'm actually swinging an ES put because I think it's going to sell off at opening. So I only swung one. It's not a lot of money, but I think that it will gap down. And if it does, then that's going to be a big pay for me. A big payday. Remember those candy bars, Payday? They were good. So at the end of the day on ES, this is what happened. Crazy. Let's see here. Let me get back it up here. At the very end, it come up and it just dropped. Well, I got in puts right here, and when I got down here, I was going to sell it, and I thought, no, I'll hold out a little bit longer. It's going to pull back right here, and then it'll dump really good. And it just kind of went across through here. So I ended up breaking even on 2 puts, and by breaking even, I paid commissions out, but I broke on 2, and I went ahead and held one, and if I'd have sold it right here, I would have been a little bit money ahead, but I'm going to hold it. I think this is going to sell off over the weekend, so we'll see. If not, then no big deal. I can sell it on Sunday at open, and then I can get in calls and I can make up for the difference. So it's no big deal either way. So what we did today in our Discord group, I actually did a live stream with them to teach them how to scalp options. Everybody's, well, I won't say everybody, but a lot of people are not doing very well across the board in different Facebook groups that I see, YouTube videos, and other Discord groups that I hear. I'm not in any, well, I'm in a couple that are free ones that go in, just kind of look at it, been in forever, but they don't really do anything though. But what I do is just kind of look around, see what other people are doing, see if I can pick up different tips. Everybody learns. I learn every day. I learned a lot of things this week, self-taught on some, and just kind of playing around with it. So today we open up. Last night we sold off, and I got in some puts, and I was making some money coming down, but I went ahead and waited when we got down here. And before I went to bed last night, I think it was probably right on through here, I went ahead and got in one ES future call, option call. And the reason I did is because I knew the Feds were going to be pumping today. So I thought, well, I'll get in. They might start at midnight, and I would just carry it out. So on this one, I went ahead and put a limit sell on it so that if it hit a target price, then I'd wake up and be making money. So at 6:15 this morning, or 6:45 actually, I think it was, or 6:15, I think it was round through here. It actually sold. I made $275 while I slept last night, so it was really good. Then during the day, I ended up scalping down through here, did a few scalps. There's one I should have sold right here, and I never. And if I'd have sold there, that was an extra $350, and then I could have got puts on the way down here. So this would have been about probably somewhere between $800–900 I could have made there, but I didn't. I held it, and then I held it through here, and then it come up. So I missed out on a lot of opportunities here because of what I did. So lesson learned. Get out on strength and sell them. So anyway. This ended up coming down. I ended up scalping a lot through here. Ended up today counting last night's trade. $1,950 is what I ended up. That's a good day. Most people just try to make $300, $400, $500 a day. I like to make at least $1,000. My goal is kind of make $2,000 a day, and I hit it sometimes I don't. Sometimes I blow it out of the park. I think the most I made in a week is $26,000. And the least I've made in a week is, we won't talk about that. So I've been red on some weeks before. We all have. If you haven't, you're a liar. Everybody loses on trades occasionally. The main thing is to make sure you make money on the majority of the trades. That way you can stay in business. So right now we are on, this actually did a cup and handle just like I said this morning when I did the market brief for the Discord members. And if you're not a Discord member, there is a link down at the bottom, and it's actually on the screen, and it's spymoneyllc.com. Go there. It'll tell you all about our Discord group. And I also have online courses to teach you how to trade. So you can, if you want to further your education on that, learn how to do futures, that'd be good. So right here is a perfect cup and handle. This is textbook cup and handle. You will not get a better description of a cup and handle than this. Right there's the cup. Here is the handle. I mean, that is textbook cup and handle. And I played it all except I thought this might be the handle part. So I was playing up for this to take off, and when it went up and then it dropped down, so I played it wrong. I should have sold there. I talked about it on the 1 minute time frame. It was on the touching the 200. If we go back to it and look, let's see here. I don't have the 200. Let's see, where is that? Find out where we were. I know it was on the 200 because we talked about it in my group. Actually, it's right here. Right there is where I wanted to sell. I didn't sell it, and I held it, and then boom, it dropped down. So when it started dropping down, I knew it'd come back, so I just held the calls. And I was down at one time $600 on that, which was just crazy. I should have, even if I took a loss up here, I mean, being at $350 to the good here, I mean, one, I should have sold there, and I never. And it ended up dropping, and it come up to here. When it hit this part, I actually sold. I can't remember the profit, but I ended up selling here, and I come down, then I end up getting this. I think this was $850 right here that I made, and it just kind of kept on. So I just scalped it all day. Some people say you can't scalp options. Well, I tell you I can. And there's a bunch of people in our group that are scalping options now. So if you don't know how to scalp options, then check out our courses and we'll teach you. So on ES, I think this was all Fed pump today. I think Sunday it's probably going to sell off on Sunday. We had this trend line drawn out here, and I actually thought it was going to hit this trend and then sell off. So I was out of it. I got out of this trade at 28.21 on the pivot point. So when it hit right there, I was out. So get that closer. When it come up on this candle right here, or no, I'm sorry. Get on the right one. This candle right, where is it going? Oh, there it is. This candle right here is where I sold. And then I decided I was going to stay out the rest of the day, and I was until we started having this drop, and I hopped in puts because I thought it would sell off and come down to probably about this pivot here, which is 28.09. Even if it come down to this one at 28.21, I mean, I would have made good money just coming to there. And I was trying to pick up an extra $400 or $500, and I should have just stayed out. But you know, I'm okay. I broke even on the 2, and I'm carrying the 1. So hopefully we'll gap down pretty good, and that'll make up a total for Sunday because I can't count that for Friday. So this, the way it's actually working right now, I believe that having that trend line here, I think that usually before you sell off, you will actually push through, and then it will just kind of come back and drop. Sunday, they're not supposed to be the Feds involved, so I think this will actually sell off. Come back. Now, where will it sell off? I'm not real sure. You can see I've got all these lines in here, the support and resistance lines I've been working on. But I think we'll end up selling off, probably come back to, maybe the 2770 was a real hard, let's see, where is that? 2770 is right here, and then we had 86, maybe it's 2790. 2790 was one of the toughest support and resistance lines we had in the last few days. I mean, it just hovered around it. If you look right there, I mean, we come up, kept touching, come down, we touched the top. I mean, 2790 was like the golden number this time. So I would think that we'll probably end up selling off the 2790, and if we do, I will be tickled. I mean, that's only 40-point drop, so we could do 40 points easy. And if it ends up taking off, then I'll just cut my losses on it, and then I'll get some calls. I'll make up for the losses. It's no big deal. It's only one contract. So that's what I think will happen on Sunday. Now let's go to gold. I've been in ES all day. I haven't really looked at anything else. Look at the 15 to see what happened on this one. Gold ended up doing pretty much the same thing. It sold off at the end of the day, and then it started coming right back up. So this would have been a very good one to get in. If you'd been in, actually this was all day, sorry. Let's see here, there's 8:30. It actually sold off all day, and then it started climbing at the end. So gold, has been in a continual down pattern. If we go back to the 1 hour, it actually sold off quite a bit, and then it's kind of come back up. This is not really what I call a cup and handle. It's got too much of a W in it. Cup and handle was like what I showed you on ES. But if the market is going to sell off where this is coming down, this could be a cup with a handle coming out. So, the way this is climbing right here, that very well could happen. And if the market sells off, generally gold will go down. That's typical. Not always, but typical. So gold looks like it may be taking off. We are below that pivot. Being below the pivot is a bearish sign. So we'll just have to wait and see. Go to crude oil. Never even looked at it today. Crude oil looks like it just based all the way across. So it can't make up its mind right now. It's just going sideways. Sideways is not good for options. And look at NQ. NQ followed the same pattern as ES. It went up. I think this one went up about. I think it went up like a 0.5% or maybe 0.75% more than what ES did today. So if you would have got in options or even just scalping of any kind on this, you would have made just a little bit more money on this one. And that was Lewis. He pointed that out in the Discord chat. I never really paid any attention to it, but he pointed it out. Now, one thing you got to remember is right here is a top of another cup and handle. So if we actually come down to here, so this is a double top is what we hit. So this is a sign that it will actually pull back. So that is another sign that we're going to sell off. So between this and the way ES did, I believe that we're going to pull back. This one could easily pull back to, looks like 8,700 or so, 8,701. That is a pretty good resistance point there. May come down more. It may blow through that, but I would say it's going to pull back because it's got a double top, and this may sell off until Monday morning when the Feds jump back in and start dumping more money. We're not hitting all these, but I don't even think anybody was in Walmart today. I've got some puts on it. I'd like for it to sell off. I was hoping that it would sell off today, but it never. It just kind of based all the way across. Where it's going to go, it looks like we're staying above the pivot. There's a good chance it may come back up. Hopefully it'll come down. I'd like to see it come down to 127.44 would be great. If we come down to there, then that would be good. USO is basing all the way across. If you're in calls, I'd advise you to get out. Calls or puts, any kind of options, because they're doing a reverse split. So Tesla actually rallied. Most everything rallied today because of the market. And it looks like it's actually starting to go back up, whereas we had this here, which I can do away with now because it's no longer in existence. We broke through that, so we just get rid of it. Looking at this, we actually have another trend coming from up here all the way down through here, but we broke that today, so we'll see what happens with that. I'll leave that one in there. But that's only 2 touches, though. I won't count that. Don't count that at all. And then let's come up and see what TLT did today, sideways. I'd like to see TLT drop. I've got some puts in it. I just bought it at the wrong time. It's hard to swing options right now. Never know from one day to the next. Target had a big old drop yesterday, and it looks like it recovered every bit of where it was. So this could actually be part of a cup, and then it can be the handle. So it's on a 1 hour chart, but cup and handles, the patterns, they go on anything. And since we come right back to the top and level it off, that's a good sign that's going to pull back. So we got our 200 running through there, so it may just pull back, catch that, and then take off. SPY did the same thing, ES. But, like on here, you've got that top right, you got that top right there. So it actually double topped. So, and it had a cup and handle from down here. I'm sorry. Go back to the 15. It doesn't really show. Yeah, here it is. So you had a cup and handle right here because you got this high right there where it come up. So this is your cup, here's your handle. but it looks like we're actually forming another one somewhat, but this is not so much like a cup because you have that inside it. But if you go back to the 1 hour, if you look at the 1 hour, it looks more like it, but it's not necessarily that because you had one inside it. So normally you don't have one inside. But we did have a double top. A double top is bearish. You come up, you hit it. If you pull back, then that's a good sign it's going to sell off. Roku. Roku's going sideways. That is killing people's options right now. It needs to do something. It's probably going to go sideways until Monday or Tuesday, and then with this 200 coming up, it might catch up and push it up. So probably looking midweek before anything's going to happen. And at that point, it can go up or down because we're going sideways. It's indecisive. So you have this rally, and then you have a base. Now we got to see, are we going to have a drop or are we going to have a rally? So it's undecided at this point what it wants to do. And NVIDIA, there were several people got in that. I'm in long calls on it. I probably should average down here. It's staying along this 200. So NVIDIA looks like it's going to be bullish for a while. Netflix is just killing me. I should have sold that day. But it's going sideways. I'll probably end up losing money on this one. It expires next Friday. So I bought it as a scalp, and I didn't scalp it. I decided to swing it through earnings, and I messed up. If you think the earnings are going to be good, buy puts. That's usually what happens. So anyway, it's been going down. It actually sold off pretty good today, and then started coming up a little bit. But I thought with the Fed pumping and stuff, this would come up. Usually after earnings, it's about 4 or 5 days before it will take off. So we're on the 3rd day now. So maybe Monday they'll forget about the earnings and stuff and start pumping more money in it. And we'll go to Microsoft. Microsoft is staying bullish. Just 200's pushing it up through there. So Microsoft is probably long, but we do have a double top right here. So having a double top, this could easily pull back. But I still think Microsoft is going to be long. LBS. I got out of mine. Let's see right here, and I thought that it probably would come up and hit this trend, but I got out because I wasn't risking it. I made around 120% on that. And you know what? You don't need any more money in that. If you double your money, that's a really good trade. Don't get greedy. And some people held it, and when they held it, they lost everything. They lost all the profit they had and lost their investment they had. Probably will not get it back either because this is in a pennant. It's probably going to go ahead and drop back down to here and then come back up. It could turn back up, but I don't see it happening. That's probably lost money. Kohl's, the store's closed, has been closed for a while, but yet they rallied right there. This just dropped. I mean, how does a store that's not open, no customers, not making a dime, they're losing money, how does it rally? So anyway, Kohl's has been coming down. It's actually staying with the market now, so we'll just have to wait and see. I bought some puts over in here. It was on this day. I bought puts on it, and I was just going to ride it out, and I was going to get a couple more days out of it and sell it. If you're in profit, sell it. Don't get greedy, and that's what I did. But our 200's coming down and back up. So with our 200 coming up like that, that's not good for anybody in puts unless you bought puts up here, which I never. I probably should have averaged down up here, and then I'd be in profit down here now if I would have. Intel's got like a head and shoulders pattern. You got your shoulder, and you got your head, and then you got a shoulder here. It's a sloppy one, but it is one. I would say and here it sold off pretty good, but today then it pulled up. But the sell-off was the earnings as well. Now, one thing about Intel is they make the processors for Apple. Apple is no longer going to use them for that. They're making their own. So that is coming up. They announced it yesterday. So Intel, I would say that was a big portion of their business. So in my opinion, Intel's not going to be doing good. I think it's probably going to be going to the downside. And if you look, this is kind of going at that direction anyway. If you take a channel, if you do one from here to there, and kind of come up to here, so it's in a downward pattern the way it's going. So my personal opinion is that it'll probably end up breaking through this on Monday and then coming on down. May not. Look at Google. Google's ad revenue's down. We're going just really kind of figuring a channel here. Today it went up. It's actually following the market. So whatever the market does is probably what Google's going to be doing. It's not doing anything outside of its own. Disney, I'm bearish on Disney. I think it's going to be bearish all the way to the earnings. So we'll see on that one. And Bind, so one of the guys in the group had the record profit he's ever made on an option today. And real happy for him. Posted his profits in the Discord channel, and it was just great. Good call out. I got in it. I sold early. I took my profit, but if I'd have held, it'd have kept on going, and I'd made a lot more. So I'm really happy that he made that money that he did. I'm happy I made the money I did. I think I sold it. I think I sold mine right here on that day right there. I sold it. It pulled down, and so I would have had to be about probably right here to get the same money that I made there. What I should have done is when it come down, I should have just went ahead and bought in maybe on this day and then just kind of rode it up. I could have made a lot more money than if I just held what I bought over here. BA, what a disappointment. I thought BA would actually hold this horizontal support and actually come up, but it ended up selling off. I don't know why it sold off either, but other than I think they're working with 25% of their employees now. It seems like the companies that you think should still be doing good and making money have sold off, and the companies that you think should be selling off because they're closed and padlocks on the doors, they're going up. It makes no sense to me. Boeing's still working. Kohl's is closed. Amazon still going sideways, neutral on that. Until it actually punches out of this, I wouldn't be doing anything. Right now, you're just going to be throwing money at something and waiting, and your premium is going away. So my personal opinion is I would just hold unless you wanted to scalp it. Scalping would be good. AMD actually popped up today. I thought AMD would actually sell off, but it's just following the market. That's all it's doing. You had this rage right here, and you got this rage here. I think that if we sell off on Sunday, AMD is going to gap down. And Apple, Apple is, I almost bought calls on that today, and I wish I had have actually. But I'm just not real sold on swinging right now, the way things are moving. We are overbought right here, so that's showing this probably going to come down. It's following the market. I wasn't really strong on the market holding what it was doing today. I think it's probably going to gap down on Sunday, and that's why I backed out of buying calls on it to swing. I was going to buy 60-day calls and just, or not 60, but 30-day calls and just hold it until next week and get rid of it. But, I can make a lot of money buying future options, scalping, and not have to fool with trying to swing stuff on these the equity options that are just costing too much money. Unless you're scalping, it's hard to make money on them. I mean, if you look at this right here, if you'd have bought in here, either day, if you'd have bought calls here, you wouldn't have made money there. You'd have lost money here, and you'd still be making or losing money. And it looks like the trend was going up. But, the only day you could have made any money is if you'd have bought here and sold there. Otherwise, you wouldn't have made any money because you can't even sell these after hours. With future options, you can sell them 23 hours a day, 5 days a week. And American Airlines, I ended up selling mine today. I sold right down here, actually on this green candle. When it went down and started coming up, I sold it. I took a $10 loss, including my commissions, to get rid of it. I knew that the market was going to pump. I posted in the Discord that if you're in puts, you ought to get rid of them because it's going to be pumping. And this is in a bullish pattern right now. This is a descending wedge pattern, which is bullish, and it was starting to come out of it. And when it hit that drop, I took my money and ran. It wasn't very much, like maybe $300 or something, but I got that money back less $10. So I was happy to get rid of this one. Now I'm out of it. As the days go, if I have options that have been swinging long term, if they are green or almost green. I'm getting rid of them based on the chart that they're in. The market is too volatile right now to be swinging stuff, in my opinion. You can lose your shirt. So go back to ES. I'll end it with that. Again, we're on this double top right here. If we go in actually it'd be right here. And then I want to do away with these two because I just put those on there just so I could watch the candles. I played this all the way up till the last second of the day. I sold 2 options, 2 puts, like 2 minutes before 5 o'clock today. And then the last one, I went ahead and kept it because I wanted to see if I could actually get a drop out of it. With this pattern right here, this should drop out. So we're looking, if we come out, we should be, see that's 20. Let's see here. Yep, it's the wrong place. Had to sneeze, sorry about that. I put it on mute. Is that 20? No, it's 29.70. 20. What was that? 20. Can't find it now. There's 2,800. That was a big one. And then we had this one here, 27.90. There it is. So we come down here to I'm going to draw this out to right there just so we can kind of reference back. So this is about 10 o'clock Sunday night is what that is. Actually, I tell you what, instead of drawing this line because that'll confuse me later, let me just do this. We'll put a place here that is where we think it's going to go. So that gives an idea of where I think that it'll sell off. It might not hit that Sunday. It might be Monday. It may not even come down this far. But if you look back, based on this over here, where all the resistance and everything is, I think that is probably where it's going to go. And you're only looking at 58 points or so from here to the top up here. So that could easily drop that much on Sunday. And it may not open up and drop there. I mean, it may open up and just gap down, 10, 20 points or so, and then have a little pullback and then just gradually sell off. So that's my opinion of where I think it would be. So we'll have to wait and see on that to see if it actually comes down to that point. It may not. So if I drag this over, so it's actually on all Monday. Let's see here, all the way over to, actually it'll be by 8 o'clock. Because I think the Feds start pumping. I have to look at my schedule, but I think the Feds start pumping again at 8:30 Monday morning. And if they do, then this will probably sell off to here, and then it will take off again. So on this part, I didn't go over NG. NG, where are you? NG ended up selling off all day today. It's probably going to hit this purple channel. When it hits this, then it should come right back up. And when it hits it, it'll probably come back with a vengeance. So if we look back on this, you can see the purple channel. So when it hits here, you can see right there that, it come down pretty close to it and then just took off. When that happens, I'll get in some calls down here and ride this up. So I'll be in NG on Sunday more than likely because this will probably gap down to that and then it will take off. So that is the market recap. That's how I made a little over 1900 today, 1950. And yesterday was a little over 1800. The rest of the week, I had some smaller days on different things, but it was a good week for me. I was pretty happy. I learned some new strategies that worked out good for me on Thursday, yesterday. And I put more of them in practice today, and it worked out for me. So I'll probably end up staying to that strategy and just keep on scalping. Scalping's where the money is, and for the people that have less than 25,000 in their account, if you open up a futures option or futures account, then you can scalp all you want. No PDT, and you can scalp for ever how much money it's going to cost you to buy the option or the contract. And we're going to do some more videos in my courses talking about how to scalp better, and I'm going to make it a smaller course to where if you already know how to trade, but you're just wanting to learn how to scalp and how to get in, get out quicker, and how to buy the options and set everything up to where you can have everything real handy so that you're not looking for everything and back and forth to different screens. And I'm going to put that together this weekend and make a smaller package. It's probably going to be $99, and that one will actually make you a lot of money if you already know how to trade. If you don't know how to trade, then we're working on a basics course now to teach you from A to Z, and it's going to be a really in-depth training. It's going to take you through glossary terms of what each things mean, and like the acronyms that we use, like ATM, OTM, and ITM, stuff like that. So there's a lot of things that we use that a lot of people don't understand, and all that's going to be in there. It's going to show you how to make the trade, which brokerages to get, which ones do different things. So that's what we're going to do. I'm going to try to get the charting one to show you how to chart out your candles and so forth, so that you know how to trade that, because without charting you really can't trade. I mean, I don't think. I mean, there's some people that trade on fundamentals alone, but there are people that are buying for a year out. I don't buy for a year out. I buy for today. I want my money today. And teaching you how not to be greedy. I'm the world's worst on greed with trading. It kills me. I was greedy today and end up missing out on potentially $1,200 to $1,500 in profits. So, but we're going to have more courses on our website. You can go there. You can check out some ones now. Josh is on here now. He and I have traded together for a year. He's taught me things. I've taught him things, and it's actually been a good trading year. Good friends. And I got several others I've been trading with for a long time. But if you're new to it, we can help you out. Get in a Discord group. You'll learn so much in the Discord group just by conversations with people, the different chats and so forth. So anyway, you guys have a great weekend, and I appreciate all of you. Please like, share, and subscribe. I've got 5 likes on here. Let's get some more on there. Appreciate everybody, and I will see my Discord members in the Discord chat this weekend. Have a great weekend.